Hey guys, this is Jeremy Gretzer with BackSportsPage, bringing you back an episode of Cut the Nets. Yes, we've been on a long hiatus, 7 months. We got live, so we're trying to figure out how we put in Cut the Nets in our daily schedule. But we are back. I'm back. Nobody really wants to join this podcast. It's been kind of a lonely summer for me. That's why I'm trying to bring this podcast back up. Brian can't do it. Andy can't do it. Nobody really can do it. Everyone's just busy with their sports jobs and lives that are way much better than mine. But wait, whoa, hold on a second. Bang! Andy, whoa!
I'm back.
Did I just hear Mike Breen in my head right now? Is Mike Breen talking to me?
Bang indeed, my
God.
friend.
Bang indeed. Oh my God. Oh, my phone too.
What's going on?
Wait, is that Brian just texted me? Whoa, another bang. Man, I just got banged.
I'm the co-host. I had to be back.
I got gang banged twice.
Whoa.
Yo.
We already got one of those jokes down. We are fully back. Always a great time on Cut the Nets, fellas. Ladies and gentlemen.
Let's cut that out.
We're
guys.
back, though. Cut the Nets. We ain't going anywhere. We're back better than ever.
We are back. We are back, guys. Remember that guy that told us that there's 5 white guys in the podcast talking about basketball and they don't know anything of it? Well, this is for you.
5 white guys and not in sync.
Exactly.
You think he still watches?
5 white guys. Oh, I think he does. He's jealous of us.
He's hate watching?
Absolutely hate watching. All right. Welcome, guys, to Cut the Nets. We are back. A month away from the NBA season start. Jeremy, of course, is my name, Jeremy Gretzer. Brian, of course, is here as well. And we have Andy, the reporter for On Air Daily News in Chicago.
Happy to be back, fellas. Thanks for having me once again.
Absolutely. This episode is actually brought to you by NBA Shop Fanatics. We have our first sponsorship in the books. Isn't that crazy? That's crazy, right? My phone keeps like going off. My bad.
People are talking about the big.
We have our first sponsorship.
Yeah. There you go.
Get a clap. Oh yeah, let's go. Round of applause.
Turn me up.
Absolutely. Hey, I it's been a while since we've done a podcast. Yet people in fashion companies in the sports industry look at us and be like, hey, let's help y'all out. And this is not why we're coming back. Definitely not why we're coming back for money. Definitely not. Absolutely not. But
right.
Anywho, yeah, right. How are we doing, guys?
I'm doing pretty good. I mean, excited to get back in the lab, get back to work here. Basketball season's coming up in like a month. The preseason too, so. Absolutely. Andy, it's been a while. How we doing?
Busy summer, doing a lot of big things, whether it's back in Chicago or right here in the armpit of America, as they call it, in the state of Ohio. But regardless of where I'm situated, I am more ready than ever to go ahead and talk some hoops with Jeremy and Brian, baby. Let's rock.
Solid. Both of you guys, by the way, I heard Andy's now the on-air reporter for Daily News, On Air Daily News, covering the Chicago Sky for the WNBA. Nice.
Yeah, much to report
pretty
there.
solid.
Much to report there. They're kind of on a downturn right now. They've lost, I think, the last 6 in a row. But, I mean, the amount of fans and energy and money and attention that this class of rookies, Angel Reese, Camila Cardoso, specifically for the Sky, you got Caitlin Clark on the Fever. It's just really cool to see the W grow and become what it is today and where it's going in the future. So I'm just more than happy that the sport is growing and it's just bigger and better than ever.
Yeah, for sure. Brian, are you also a sports intern now? Like, what's your update in the sports world?
Yeah. So I'm doing like a manager and a coach for Superdome Sports, which is like a sports facility near me. But then I'm also doing in addition to my other writings like BackSportsPage, Last Word on Sports of the Pittsburgh Penguins, I'm a college football scout. So
solid.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm pretty much writing scouting reports on draft eligible guys in a certain region. So I have the Southeast region, which is pretty much like geographically, I have Tennessee and North Carolina down. So I got the Carolinas, Tennessee, Georgia, Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, and my first one done was on Carson Beck. So
solid, man.
Go
Hey,
Dogs.
man, we are moving up. We are moving up in the sports world, getting jobs, trying to get to that elusive title as sports bloggers, sports reporters, and media personalities, especially with our podcast, Cut the Nets. Speaking of our podcast, yeah, let's talk some ball. We have things to cover for the NBA. This episode, we're going to be covering the Eastern and Western Conference predictions, who fits in which slot for each team. So, yeah, so we're going to go down 15 through 11, 10 through 6, and then 5 through 1. I'll go ahead and start off with the Western Conference.
Let it rip, Jeremy.
Man, this Western Conference is loaded. I mean, last year was loaded as well, right? But this is a whole different level with OKC completely surprising everybody last year, going the first seed, going to the second round, the Mavericks making it all the way to the finals, the Timberwolves making it to the Western Conference Finals for the first time since the Kevin Garnett led 2004 Wolves. Like this last year really impacted what the standings predictions that we have this year. I mean, last year I had the Lakers in the first seed. How stupid am I, right? Crazy. But let's get into our predictions here for the Western Conference, starting with the 15, the bottom 15, the worst team in the Western Conference. For me, it's going to be the Portland Trailblazers. Yeah, pretty much. They didn't do so great last year. Scoot Henderson kind of had a rough rookie season coming out the gate. They didn't really add too much with their roster this year. They're kind of building up what they have with Scoot Henderson. DeAndre Ayton is still on the team, which is weird. He still thinks he's like an all-star caliber player, which I think maybe in the right fit. You've got, you've got Shaedon Sharpe, who's also a young player. But I mean, they just need to figure out who they are as a new team post Damian Lillard era. So I think that this year is another stepping stone to where they figure out themselves to be in the next 5 or so years. So 15 for the Blazers. 14, I'm going to go with the Utah Jazz. Even though they signed Lauri Markkanen into that crazy contract extension, they really didn't do much else. I mean, they don't have a much caliber compared to the other teams. I mean, Lauri Markkanen was an all-star last year, right? But you've got the Western Conference. I mean, each from probably the 13th seed on is like extremely tough to beat. So the Jazz kind of slip out and go to the 14th seed for me. 13th, I'm going the LA Clippers. Crazy, right? LA Clippers.
Ooh, 13.
Here's why, guys. Here's why.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I think that, yeah. So Kawhi Leonard, he is injury prone. You don't know exactly where he's going to be at and how well he's going to play. They lost Paul George also, by the way. They really didn't do too much with their roster in the offseason, much at all. They have a new arena, which is kind of nice. They got their own home instead of sharing it with their big brother in the Los Angeles Lakers. But James Harden. I love James Harden, Rockets legend, but he's going to be 35 this year. It's going to be age is really going to hurt his type of play, and he's not going to drive the basket like he used to, as we've seen within the last couple of seasons, thanks to his hamstrings. But I feel like the Clippers have a chance. Like there's a big gap between the 14th and 15th seed from the 13th seed. I'm sure there's a big gap there. But you know, the old stars the stars of the 2010s are becoming old, and so I feel like with that, the Clippers kind of fall into the 13th seed. They really don't have any other third star with the Clippers, if I'm not mistaken. So I feel like the Clippers are the 13th seed. The 12th seed for me, crazy, but I'm going with Golden State. 12th seed.
All right.
Golden State. Again, out with the old, in with the new. Yeah, Steph Curry. We saw that 4 straight threes in the Olympics against Serbia. But that's probably the last we'll see of Steph Curry in a sort of postseason playoff competition style game. I mean, he had a 1-year extension of $60 million. Crazy. I think he'll go off and do really well, but not as well as the Steph Currys have done in the previous seasons of his career will do. But then again, you lost Klay Thompson. Their second best player is Draymond Green, guys. Come on. Aggressive Draymond Green? I don't know about that. I'm not sure. The cum bucket, Jonathan Kuminga, I mean, what? We haven't seen much of him and how well he'll do. Brian has been praising him for the last, couple of seasons, but he hasn't really done much to show for it. Steve Kerr is an aging coach. I mean, look, he nearly lost the medals for the U.S. He nearly lost them, but thanks to LeBron James and Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, like the roster really carried the USA to gold medal. I don't think it really was Steve Kerr's decision. Really, I don't think it was his coaching. He's kind of an aging coach. So again, out with the old, in with the new. The last team I have for the 11th spot, you guys are also going to be a little bit surprised. I have the Sacramento Kings for the 11th.
That's a big drop. I know we all were thinking a drop, but that's a big drop. Okay.
Yeah. Well, they got DeMar DeRozan as their big primetime trade piece. Okay. The best 2-point shooter in the league, but he's also getting up there in age. I don't think the Kings really, really will do well unless they make some significant trade moves to, rise in seedings. Here again, the Western Conference is loaded, extremely loaded. So I feel like the Kings, they're just going to be too overwhelmed by the other teams that have way more star power in their helm. So De'Aaron Fox, yeah, one of the best point guards in the league, top 10 point guard in the league, I'll say. But still, the Kings don't necessarily have much else aside from that. 11 seed, I'm going with the Kings. Who else wants to start the 15 through 11 on the Western Conference? Anybody want to?
I'll start.
Go for it, Brian.
Yeah.
So at 15, I got the Portland Trailblazers as well. I mean, their biggest addition in the offseason was drafting two-time national champion Donovan Clingan, who will be a good player. But, they're just outside of that, no really elite talent. I mean, their team name rhymes with fail. It's kind of funny. Chauncey Billups, the worst coach in basketball, probably going to get fired this year. Surprised he's still there. 14, I got the Utah Jazz. I still think they're up and coming, but like Jeremy said multiple times, it's a loaded Western Conference, and I think a lot of these teams are in some sort of direction. But the Jazz can continue to keep building their youth movement, and who knows? Maybe they tank for Cooper Flagg. He's their savior, so who knows? 13. I got the Los Angeles Clippers as well. They lost Paul George. They lost Russell Westbrook. Aging James Harden. Glasshead Leonard. Who knows when he never stays healthy. I just think they're going to take a regression. And number 12, I got the San Antonio Spurs. I just think that, like I said, loaded West. They definitely improved their roster a little bit, but not to the level where they'll be in a playoff spot. And then at 11, I got the Golden State Warriors. Steph Curry, I know he's Steph Curry.
12?
No, I said Spurs at 12.
Oh, my bad. Sorry. Go ahead.
At 11, I got the Golden State Warriors. Steph Curry is Steph Curry. I'm not worried about him regressing anytime soon, but like Jeremy said, it's outside of that who's really going to step up. I mean, Klay Thompson also departed. He's in Dallas now. Is Draymond Green even the second best player in Golden State? He's Mr. 8-8-8. He's obviously there too. I mean, Andrew Wiggins just became an outright bum. He's not the second guy. So it's like, who's going to be that guy to step up? Who's going to fill the scoring and the youth movement there? I mean, they got the cum bucket, who, like I said, or like Jeremy said, isn't who he's supposed to be. I mean, Kevon Looney is like a nice player, I guess. Brandon Podziemski. I mean, they got Buddy Hield, who's obviously a great three-point shooter, but he's nothing to write home about by any means. So the Dub era, Dub dynasty is definitely over. And yes, that's my 15 through 11 of non-playoff teams in the lottery.
Andy.
All right. So, shockingly, I also think that the Portland Trailblazers are going to be the 15th seed in the West and probably the worst team in basketball. It's coming down to Scoot Henderson and a bunch of those younger guys that they have on their team actually making the leap that they talk about. I'm talking like Shaedon Sharpe as well. And I think we saw some good pieces from Scoot Henderson last year as the number 2 overall pick. But I don't know. I don't think he has what it takes to even take a remotely big enough leap to actually be the focal point of a team, a playmaker, and everything that Portland's asking him to do. And then when you throw in, like, sure, they have some veterans. You throw in guys like they still have DeAndre Ayton. They have Jeremy Grant. Anthony Simons is still there, who I really hasn't taken a leap that we all thought he was going to take. It's like, okay, maybe that pushes them a little bit further up the standings. Are we certain that those guys aren't going to get dealt right before the deadline anyways? I think I don't need to elaborate more on Portland. Portland's Portland. Sorry, Blazer fans. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. 14, give me the Jazz. I know I'm kind of repeating a lot what they're saying. But so, okay, you extend Market and you keep them. Cool. What did you do to get better outside of that? Are you really thinking that the guys like Keontae George, Bryce Sensabaugh, my near and dear Ohio State Buckeye, Bryce Sensabaugh, other guys like, I mean, you got Filipowski on your team. Are any of them going to take any sort of noticeable, they're going to increase in any way possible? I don't know. It seems like you were really basing it around Lauri, which is fine. But if you're not putting a team around him that at least has some other veteran presence, it's really just going to be Lauri out there trying to finish every play he can on both ends of the court. And that's just not going to end well for anybody. And I don't know. Maybe they'll end up doing the Jazz way. They're going to trade whatever veterans they have midseason to get worse, as they usually do. So again, I'm really ragging on the Jazz. Sorry, but they're not a good team. And that's what we're here to talk about. So sorry, Utah fans, all 2 of you watching. Moving on to 13. So I'm actually surprised we're all in agreement here. I have the Warriors at 13. I know that's pretty harsh. I know. But to me, it comes down, a lot of the things that you guys said were very good on the Warriors, and I 100% agree. But what it comes down to is they wanted Lauri, who I just spoke about in the offseason here. Okay. So you miss on Lauri. Cool. Whatever. There's a lot of other guys out there. And who do you try and fill that with? You get Buddy Hield and Kyle Anderson. Not bad players by any means. But, I mean, what are we doing here, right? You give Steph the $90 million bajillion contract. I can't even count that high, dude. Like, it's ridiculous. You give him that much. He's aging. Clay's gone. Are you really thinking that his offensive output's going to get matched by Buddy Hield? Draymond Green's not getting any younger. And as Brian said, he's going to continue putting up his triple singles. How impactful is that? We don't really know. So unless Kuminga or Brandon Podziemski make another step up, I just think it's going to be a disaster, especially if they're without any one of their actual bona fide superstars for any amount of time this year, which we've seen in the past couple of years is very much a possibility. So Warriors at 13. Sorry to see Golden State go down like that. Going up to 12, Clippers. I don't know. They lost a lot. They have injury-prone superstars, or superstar in Kawhi, I should say. James Harden's reputation, I mean, is just kind of in the drain right now. He's not Rockets James Harden by any means. Can he pull out some of that Houston magic that we see from him? Sure, absolutely. If Kawhi, being optimistic, if Kawhi's able to get back to what the Clippers are paying him to be able to do so, we might see something out of them. I'm just not moved by them because even when they're in the playoffs, they're not accomplishing anything. And that's if they get there in the first place. So I'm pretty low on the Clippers this year as well. And at 11, Jeremy, I'm sorry, but I have the Rockets just outside the play-in again. I know. Don't kill me. I'm looking back. Okay, you want to kill me. That's okay. Let me explain. They went 41-41 last year off the top of my head, I think. Is that correct, Jeremy?
Yes, they had a 500 record.
Okay. So I actually think they're going to win a couple more games than that, but they're still going to miss out just how stacked this West is. Improving in the NBA is not always on a straight line. All right? They did not have it last year. They definitely blew my expectations out of the water. I think I had them sitting 14 or 13 last year. So my apologies to doubt the Houston Rockets there. And they might not have it this year. But with that young group of guys, if they can keep that core together, and Jeremy, I know you're going to list them off because that's your team, so I'm going to let them go. But they have a young core that if they hold together, they are going to do some damage not this year, next year, and in a couple years beyond. So I will not steal your thunder because I want you to pour into how passionate you are about this Rockets team. But I have them sitting just outside of the play-in at 11.
Oh, yeah. You'll see where they're at in my
I'm actually
standings.
Scared now that I put them at 11 that you're going to have them.
You'll see. All
right.
We've got 10 through 6 coming up here. Number 10, I have the New Orleans Pelicans.
Yeah.
So here's why I have them at number 10. It's basically Zion. It's the same song and dance, man. It's if Zion is healthy. If he's healthy, they are a top 5 seed. Without Zion, they are a play-in team at realistically looking. I mean, they did add Dejounte Murray, which is a great addition, but look at what he did in Atlanta. Not that great. We thought Atlanta might have been a really good team with the addition of Dejounte Murray, but yeah, it just didn't work out with Trae Young and him. The size didn't really fit. Him with CJ McCollum, I mean, yeah, that might work. It might work, but again, I don't really see much shooting coming out of him, much offense coming out of him. He's a defensive-minded guard with some upside in two-point shooting and decent drives to the basket. But again, it's all about Zion. It's all about Zion, guys. It's the same song and dance. They still have a decent bench in Alvarado, Herb Jones. I think they also got Daniel Tice as well, and Ingram. But Ingram, I feel like he's sort of that superstar that could have been a much better superstar. He's just an all-star to me. And there has been some talks with him not getting enough. I think he was talking about like him not going to the workouts as much, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, they're gonna squeak into the play-in, but that's if Zion has a typical 40-game appearance season. He appears for some 40 games because he has an injury, or if he's just not, the athletic weight that he should be. Maybe he's overweight. Maybe he's injury prone. I got the Pelicans at 10. They're question mark for me at this point for number 10. Number 9, I have the Memphis Grizzlies. The Memphis Grizzlies are going to get Ja Morant back, and he's basically going to carry them to the play-in. It's all about Ja Morant. It's sort of like the same. Like if you flip a coin, it's the same shit. Like it's just if Ja Morant is there, if he's healthy, they have a chance to make the playoffs. If he's not healthy, if he has some off the court issues, which I don't think will be a problem. It wasn't much of a problem when he came back, but when he came back last year, he was extremely good right off the bat. But then he had a season-ending injury, and outside of that, then they became pretty much one of the worst teams in the league. Jaren Jackson Jr. can't really do much himself to help the team. Marcus Smart was also injured. I believe Gigi Jackson had surgery, so he won't be, ready for the regular season come to play. But he actually performed very, very well when he was on the court in replace of I guess whenever he was playing, he did really, really well. And so, yeah, other than that, Desmond Bane, he's a point getter, but not really much that. His wingspan is kind of like my wingspan, really small. They have Scottie Pippen Jr., Luke Kennard. They lost Steven Adams. And I was watching a clip that from Twitter, also known as X. Charles Barkley also mentioned that they lost Steven Adams, which was a huge, huge loss to their defensive interior. And now that he's with Houston, thank you. Thanks, Grizzlies. He's fully healthy, by the way. So the Grizzlies are pretty much going to be better than they were last year because of Ja Morant coming back. But let's see how he does, and let's see how he performs. And if he carries his team, he's pretty much going to be in the 8th or 9th seed, to be honest with you guys, because the West, again, is loaded. Number 8. I have the Phoenix Suns. So, yeah, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, you know how it is, Bradley Beal. Again, there's really no point guard. They had no point guard last year, and I was correct. They really didn't have somebody to facilitate very well. But they got Tyus Jones and Monte Morris in the offseason, which I think is a nice little, boost to their backcourt. Because Tyus Jones is probably one of the more underrated point guards right now in the NBA. And I feel like with that addition and the addition of Bud Budenholzer as their new head coach, we'll get them into play-in contention for sure. Playoffs, I'm not really sure if they get in that playoff seeding. Play-in for sure, definitely. The Phoenix Suns will be in the 8th seed with that. The 7th seed, I have the Lakers. So this is an interesting contention here because, of course, you have LeBron James. He's going to turn 40 this year, which is insane. And the way he played in the Olympics was unbelievable. Like, so good in the Olympics. And that kind of made me believe that, yeah, you know what? I think the Lakers still have more potential to be in a play-in seating and possibly make the playoffs. But again, you have Anthony Davis. They really didn't do too much in the offseason. They just kind of hope, like, let's just run it back and hope for the best. I mean, Jared Vanderbilt isn't really counted on as a durable player. I mean, shout out to him. Love the guy. Great person. Interviewed him twice. But again, he is injury prone. But if he's there, if he's healthy, the defense for the Lakers will be very, very top notch, especially in the perimeter. But they didn't really do too much to boost their chances to be a better team. They just said, hey, let's run it back. And I'm like, okay, cool. You get the 7th seed, which, hey, you know what? Fine. Out with the old, in with the new. That's just kind of my motto for the season. Number 6, I have the Spurs. I have the San Antonio Spurs at number 6. I believe in Victor Wembanyama. I believe that he is kind of like a Dirk Nowitzki type player when it comes to, you got to have supporting cast all around him from the do well. He's like also like Luka Doncic. You got to have a good supporting cast around him to do well. They got Chris Paul, which, yeah, he's not obviously Chris Paul of the Clippers or the Houston Rockets or the Hornets back in New Orleans days, but he's still a capable facilitator. And I think him and Victor Wembanyama is a great combo. Keldon Johnson is also great. I mean, Jeremy Sohan is a good defender. I think that you have a really good, solid team in the Spurs as they make their return to the playoffs. So that's my 6th seed for the San Antonio Spurs. I mean, I don't know if you guys are, surprised at that pick, but man, I like to be wild. I like to go very, very, I guess, incredibly, incredibly like with my picks and choosings of where teams go. Again, I see the potential with the young core. I see how Wembanyama, how well he did. Nearly won Defensive Player of the Year last year, along with a unanimous Rookie of the Year. But man, I think the Spurs team has a lot of potential, and I think Texas as a state is really going to show itself in the playoff seeding for sure.
Be bold, Jeremy.
Yes.
Be bold.
That's the word. Bold. That word, but I couldn't find it. Bold, yeah.
Bold. But so going my 10-6, I correctly predicted where this team was going to finish last year, and I think I want to do it again. At 10, I got the Houston Rockets. I think they're kind of correctly upward trajectory with their young core as well, and then you got kind of like the leader of that team almost in Fred VanVleet. And so, like, obviously with a very young team, I mean, you got Cam Whitmore, who I think is going to have a much better sophomore season. You got guys like Jalen Green, Tari Eason, Jabari Smith. You even drafted Reed Shepherd, who was a solid pick. Şengün's only 22, and he's already proven. So, I mean, they filled up. They brought another solid veteran, who Jeremy mentioned earlier, Steven Big Man Board Adams, who's crucial, especially in the offensive rebounding game. I think I'm curious to see how he's going to play alongside Şengün. This is a team that I think just once they get that playoff experience, which will be this year as the last play-in team, I think next year they're going to be even more dangerous. Or the season after that, they'll be even more dangerous. And could even sneak in as a top 7 seed once they get that playoff experience and the young core gets a little more established in the NBA. So I really do like the Rockets and everything that's going on over there. Number 9, this may surprise you guys, but I got the Lakers.
Ooh.
Just because some of the reasons Jeremy kind of said too. I mean, LeBron's going to be 40, and I just think that the Lakers, like we talked about how the Warriors should have been more aggressive. Like Andy, you brought up, like how they kind of, when they didn't get Lauri Markkanen, they kind of panicked, I guess, and got like Buddy Hield and whatever. I think that the Lakers kind of did that too. I mean, they didn't really improve much. I mean, Dalton Connect is a good draft pick for them, and then they followed up, and obviously the nepotism hit hard when they took Bronny.
I want to mention him.
It's just like, so whatever, he should have stayed another year. But even then, just like their actual guys, they pretty much ran it back. but same crew of all their like trade deadline acquisitions: Rui Hachimura, D'Lo, Vando, Gabe Vincent, Christian Wood. None of them moved the needle for me. And Anthony Davis, for the first time, it seems like forever, stayed fully healthy. He was dominant. He only missed 6 games last year. I don't think that's going to replicate this year. And after that, I'm very worried about the big man depth that they have behind them. I mean, they have Colin Castleton from my Florida Gators, but he tore his ACL last year. They got Hachimura, who I wouldn't trust. Jackson Hayes, who I wouldn't trust. Like Vando, who I don't think could be like a backup 5, and then Christian Wood. So it's not really guys I trust. It's kind of just like that they got to sign and like know the offense type thing. Dalton Connect is an interesting player. He could maybe be like an Austin Reeves type of guy, just younger. So who knows? Obviously, there's the trade deadline and whatever. But I just, with a loaded West and LeBron being 40, and I don't think Anthony Davis will stay fully healthy. I got them at 9. At 8, I got the New Orleans Pelicans. I'll keep this short and sweet because I agree with everything Jeremy said about them. The same as Zion. Will he stay healthy? Will he be addicted to Popeyes and that Louisiana chicken?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, jeez, Christ.
I don't know. It's the same song and dance with them. But they're always like definitely an interesting and fun team to watch. So they'll be kind of that lower tier playoff team. Just like satisfied with slightly above mediocrity. I feel like they gotta fully look at their roster and decide one way or the other. Number 7, I got the Memphis Grizzlies. They got John Morant back. They got Jaren Jackson Jr. and Gigi Jackson will be back, and I think he's only missing like 2 to 3 months. So I just think that a lot of people are forgetting, and I know the West is competitive and everything, and I know they lost Steven Adams, but I think some people are, because of the gun saga and everything like that, I feel like people are forgetting how good John Morant is. I mean, he was a bona fide MVP candidate before everything happened, so I think even in a loaded West, he's still good enough that he'll take them to just outside the play-in. And then number 6, I got the Sacramento Kings. I don't know. I think we saw from the playoffs how badly Harrison Barnes performed in the postseason, especially offensively and as their third guy. And I know DeRozan's older, but I think he's the perfect glue guy to be that third guy. Just knows his role, just get buckets, especially in the mid-range. And I mean, they still got Keegan Murray. They didn't even have to get rid of Harrison Barnes. So like they even got a solid core defensively. And it's just the athleticism of that team is crazy too. Between Murray, De'Aaron Fox, even Perry Ellis. So I don't know. I still really like the Kings.
Okay.
All right.
So I'm going to lead in with my number 10, which is interesting because I don't think Brian said this team yet. The San Antonio Spurs. What is Brian up to? I don't know.
No, I had them at 12.
You did have them. Oh, you had them at 12.
Yeah.
Okay, so the takeaway here is that I can't read. Okay, that's fine. However, talking about the Spurs, yeah, right, yeah.
Listen.
Sheesh. Talking about the Spurs, I'll agree with everything you guys said. The one thing I'll add is I like Devin Vassell a lot as a solid wing piece, especially a wing scorer. The only thing I have holding the Spurs back from what they could potentially be is if okay, and this is my take on it. You don't have to agree with me here. But the only reason I think they had Jeremy Sohan running the point for so long last year was that they can get a better pick. What if they do the same this year with a much more better draft class and have that outside shot at pairing up Wembanyama with Cooper Flag? That's what I think holds them back this year. That's a crazy thing to say. I know we're talking about the guys they have in the court, and they have phenomenal guys on the court. Victor Wembanyama is probably going to win Defensive Player of the Year. The award show of us is going to be next. Don't worry. You'll see that. Next week. Stay tuned. He'll probably be Defensive Player of the Year. Chris Paul, actually, playmaking is going to be phenomenal for him. Keldon Johnson, I hope, is going to actually hold his own this year. And I really think the only thing holding them back is if the front office kind of gets that look in their eyes. It's like, hey, what if we did this? What if we made this happen? Astronomical odds there. I know, but an outside shot nonetheless. Anyways, actually, this is probably going to be the shortest analysis I'm going to give this entire time. Number 9's the Pelicans. Is Zion playing or is he not? especially you lost Valanciunas, you lost Larry Nance Jr. And maybe this is just me not knowing ball.
Right.
Exactly. I couldn't tell you a 5 on their roster. Are they going to move Zion to the 5 and have him try to be a Jokic or something? I actually don't know who the 5 is on their roster that they'd start. Other than that, is Zion available? Maybe, maybe not. Herb Jones and Trey Murphy III are kind of like a poor man's Nickeil Alexander-Walker and Jaden McDaniels. Until they prove to me otherwise. I don't want to diss on them. They showed real heart and stuff during the down the stretch this year, but to me, that's all it is. But yeah, I do not know who the starting center is for them because I think they spent all offseason trying to get one to replace that, and they came up short. So, what are you guys looking at it right now? Daniel Tice, and who the hell is that? I know Daniel Tice. Let me clarify that. Who is the other guy? Yves Missy? Is that a real name?
Yeah.
Shout out to Yves Missy. He's gonna lace him up this year. Shout out to him.
Hell yeah.
Okay, God, I'm really tearing into some of these guys. I kind of feel bad, but whatever.
All good, bro.
So that was number 9 with the Pelicans. Number 8, I'm gonna go the Sacramento Kings. I think this is large in part to how stacked the West is, because I don't think the Kings are a bad team. I mean, they were the 3 seed 2 short seasons ago, but I don't see them really competing with how much better the rest of the West has gotten. You know, I think they might end up, I think they were a couple games over 500 last year and snuck into the play-in or maybe the tail end of actually the 1 through 6. But, I mean, I don't know. You got De'Aaron Fox. You got Domantas Sabonis. Cool. Dynamic offensive duo. Sabonis, both of them actually pretty solid on defense. Malik Monk coming back. Huge. That's nice. The big question mark is DeMar DeRozan. Is he going to fit into this offense? Is he going to make it worse? Is he going to show glimpses of MVP DeMar DeRozan we saw and with his first stint with the Bulls? Are we going to see DeMar DeRozan that still can't shoot from the outside consistently and is really not that consistent on a day in and day out basis? I don't know. Big question mark there. This is probably the most volatile team outside of the Pelicans, who I think is going to rely on Zion's availability. But this team has a lot of volatility to me. I'm too uncertain on them to put them anywhere near a confirmed playoff spot. So I have them sitting at 8. That's just my take. But, you know, that's why you're listening, is to listen to my take. So thank you for listening. We're sponsored by Fanatics, by the way. Anyways. Number 7. Lakers. I hate to do this to them, but I'm doing it to the Lakers. The Los Angeles Lakers are my number 7 seed. Brian already said it. They are running back the same squad as they did last year. We're talking, who are the biggest pickups? Dalton Knecht and Bronny James Jr. Not that Dalton Knecht can't move the needle, and as much as I love Bronny and his father, that remains to be seen. But if those are your best pickups, I mean, I don't know. You were a decent team last year. You're probably just going to be a decent team this year. The big question mark is can D'Angelo Russell and Austin Reeves get on those offensive hot streaks that just really fire them up at times and kind of won them games, helped LeBron and AD out down the stretch. And, you know, LeBron's going to be LeBron. AD's going to be AD. You don't need me to tell you that. Jeremy and Brian already went over that. But I just think you were a decent team last year. You didn't make any groundbreaking pickups. Decent team this year. So that's why they're sitting at number 7. Number 6, and I don't know how I feel about this one, which is a great way to introduce any prediction of mine. But give me the Phoenix Suns at number 6. They're running back the super team thing. Booker, Durant, Beal, cool. They finally have a point guard that Jeremy talked about in our boy Tyus Jones, right? Monte Morris and he's not still there. He just showed up, I should say. Is Beal going to be healthy? Is Booker going to be healthy? Is Durant going to be healthy? Are they all going to be healthy at once? What's going on there? Can they sweep away those demons of getting absolutely, blown out in that first round by the Minnesota Timberwolves team, who, to be fair, were probably the hottest team in basketball at that point? Other than that, I think they're bringing back mostly everybody. Is their big man still going to be Yusuf Nurkic, right?
Maybe, yeah, probably. I mean they brought in Mason Plumlee, but I imagine Nurkic is the starter.
Yeah, Mason Plumlee, I mean, cool veteran to have. Probably tells some great jokes in the locker room. I don't know if he really moves the needle for me. I mean, other than that, it seems like they have a bit more of bench help than they did last year, which I think was one of their fatal flaws. So I think they'll sneak into the playoffs. Won't have to play in the play-in. I don't know if this is a team that can go far in the playoffs. I think you can only get so far with aging superstars. That remains to be seen. I think this is another team that we are going to see the best of them and the worst of them in real short periods of time this season. So the Suns will sneak into the playoffs at seed 6.
6. All right. I like the Suns at seed 6, even though I put them in 8. It's between 8 through 6 is kind of where I see the Suns.
Yeah,
so
I think the 8 to 6 in general, you can almost put a lot of those teams that I said or you said for yours, just because they're always separated by maybe 1, 2, 2.5 games.
I see 10 through 6 pretty much like having relatively the same records. So a lot of tiebreakers in this section of these seedings. Guys, man,
what's going on, Jeremy?
I just lost my job.
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah, I lost my job, man. And prior to that, I had bought Astros tickets this Friday to see the Arizona Diamondbacks. I'm excited to see it, though. I'm still going to see them. I'm in the Crawford boxes, if you know where that is, right? The Crawford boxes. So they shoot the left field home runs that are like 315 feet.
Oh, okay.
So
all right.
I'm for sure bringing my glove.
Yeah.
Is there any way I could get a discount? I might want to get some better pricing. Where can I go?
Well, if you don't want to try your local dumpster, how about Fanatics?
Fanatics?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Fanatics. Isn't it that like jersey store that you buy to get jerseys? Because my gear is terrible. Like I have a Jeff Bagwell jersey, man. Like that's from early 2000s, late
Old
90s.
time.
I gotta up my gear. I'm a big Astros fan, but I don't have a Pena jersey. I don't have an Alvarez jersey. Heck, I don't have a Jose Altuve jersey. I mean, man, my job that I lost, I don't have the money or the funds to buy it. So where should I go, man? Fanatics? Is that what you said?
Fanatics, absolutely. I mean, they got jerseys, they got shirts, they got any sort of gear your heart could desire, my friend. Fanatics has got you covered.
Awesome, man. And also some Rockets games, too, that are coming in, especially preseason coming up in a few weeks, next month. Brian, where should I go? How should I get to the link to get like a discount?
Well, first, since you lost your job, I'd tell you maybe sell tickets. But secondly, where you could go to buy your Jose Abreu Astros jersey.
Abreu? What?
Whoever you want.
See, that's the down in the yeah, it's up to the fan. Show how fan. Trust me, if you're rocking a Jose Abreu Astros jersey, we know you're a loyal Astro fan. So go down in the description, click that link. Our link gives you a little discount, and that's how you get your Astros jersey. You save money. It's a win-win. I mean, I know I'm going to Fanatics to get my new Mikal Bridges Knicks jersey. So
I'll be following you there, Brian. Absolutely.
Absolutely. If you're interested in getting a jersey from Fanatics, hit the link in our description. You get 8% off all jerseys, all merch, especially when you want to see your home team win or lose in your arena. Brought to you by Fanatics with us at BackSportsPage. Okay. Going 5 through 1, you guys are going to be so surprised.
I'm scared. You haven't said a team, but I'm scared. I'm scared. Go ahead.
So Calvin Murphy said last year towards the end of the season when Jalen Green was pretty much coming to having a little like breakout month of March and April, the Rockets are going to be a top 5 seed. And I was like, yes, absolutely, yes. That's my number 5.
Oh,
the Houston Rockets
he did it.
Are my number 5 seed.
He did it.
Here's why. Steven Adams is going to be a lot more impactful than people think. I mean, we hardly had any sort of centerpiece when it came to interior presence. Şengün hadn't really developed a good interior defense compared to his offense. But with the addition of Steven Adams, man, like we are going to be really good in the interior. We had Jock Landale, who was pretty terrible for the first 4 or 5 months, arguably because he had a concussion and had some injury issues, but had some decent strides after the All-Star break. I'm not sure what his situation will be. His contract is non-guaranteed every single year. It's 4 years. So, but I mean, there's no news that he's left. I think he's still on the team. But I think I'm going to resort the 5 seed to the Houston Rockets because of the resurgence for that matter, of Jalen Green. Jalen Green, yeah, he had a really good last couple of months. of the All-Star break or past the All-Star break in the 2022 to 2023 season, but he was on fire on another level in the 23-24 season. Was pretty much robbed of Player of the Month in March. I don't know why he didn't get that. He didn't get that award. He should have gotten that award, but I forgot who got that award. Maybe it was Wemby or whatever. But man, Jalen Green's going to be having a breakout year this year. And if he does have a breakout year, as I'm predicting, the Rockets are going to surge to the 5th seed. I believe it.
Hell of a breakout. I love it. I love it.
He will. He definitely. Yeah. I think he's going to be a 25 points per game scorer, along with Şengün, who is going to be, even better. He didn't require surgery when he got injured, so he has been pretty much practicing, hitting the gym. I mean, getting a lot better. Going to be even better behind the arc. He's going to be so good with his facilitating in the interior as a point forward / center. Fred VanVleet is also going to be, great as he was last year. They have the addition of Reed Sheppard, which, I think that Reed Sheppard could have been a Rookie of the Year candidate if he was like on, say, I don't know, the Hornets or the Blazers or some, bottom seed team. But because he's on a loaded young core, he will resort to the bench. But man, did y'all see the summer league games where he was just knocking down threes? I mean, he is NBA ready beyond the arc. Like as any other player I've ever seen. I mean, now the summer league, you can't really dictate people's skill. I mean, you had players like Alex Sarden not doing very well in the summer league, but you have players who are terrible in summer league would actually do really well in the NBA season. I hope that doesn't switch with Sheppard being a complete bust in the NBA season. I hope not, but from what I've seen, he was really freaking good in the in summer league. I mean, you have Cam Whitmore, who is so good, like athletic as hell. Tari Eason, Jabari Smith. Who else am I forgetting? I think that's pretty much. I mean, you have the core of basically Fred VanVleet, Jalen Green, Jabari Smith Jr., and Şengün. Jeff Green is also back. He was actually really good last year as a veteran forward. Played center a couple of times as well. I think the Rockets really are going to rely on their team as a whole. It isn't going to be one or two players. However, Jalen Green is going to excel in his 4th season as an NBA player. Might be all-star potential. If not, I mean, hey, I think that's probably a ceiling right now this next season. The Rockets are going to scare everybody, and I think they're going to be a 5th seed contender for that reason. Moving along the Texas reign 4 through 6, I have the Dallas Mavericks at 4th seed.
Okay.
Dallas Mavericks. So Mavericks, of course, made the finals last year. I mean, it was to everybody's surprise. It was crazy. Everyone thought that it was going to be Celtics Nuggets, but of course, the Nuggets, they lost several of their bench players last year, and Bruce Brown. And they just didn't perform quite as well, and they were completely thwarted, surprisingly, by the Wolves in like upset fashion. But the Mavericks pretty much mowed the floor with mopped the floor with the Wolves, which really surprised me and made it to the finals. I think they still stay in that 4 through 6 range, but man, seeds 4 through 6 are going to be really tight, really competitive. Luka Doncic. I mean, if you guys see the award races and predictions next week, I think Luka Doncic is going to be a perennial MVP candidate, as he's always been. They also had Klay Thompson. Obviously Klay Thompson, not the player he was during his Golden State years, pre-ACL and Achilles tear, but still he is a formidable 3-point shot player. That's what they needed. They didn't really have much 3-point shooters with the Mavericks. And now with the addition of Klay Thompson, they do have some great support beyond the arc, along with to help Luka Doncic and Irving. But man, this team, also coached by Jason Kidd, who is probably a very underrated coach. I mean, people kind of slight him for being a bad coach, but I really don't think he's a bad coach at all. I think he's one of the more better coaches in the league. The Mavericks, they're going to sort of coast a bit and land in the 4th seed, but get ready for them in the playoffs because they are coming. 4th seed, Dallas Mavericks. 3rd seed, I mean, I'm not sure if you guys are going to predict seeds 3 through 1, but the 3rd seed, I got the Denver Nuggets. They really didn't do too much to bolster their roster this season. Again, you got Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray is there, Michael Porter Jr. Yeah, they're a contender. Ever since they hit the 2020s, they've been a contender ever since. In the finals in 2022, with Jokic's masterful performance there. But man, I was it? Sorry, 2023. My bad. 2023, they were the NBA champions. Kind of regressed a bit. We're upset by the Timberwolves. But man, I think that they still have the pedigree that they've built in Denver with Jokic and Murray as the tandem duo. I don't think that they'll be as good as they've been, but still, they'll still be a formidable team based on their history so far within the last couple of seasons. I got the Nuggets at 3. Number 2, I have the Wolves at number 2. They're going to also run it back as well with Rudy, Cat, and Anthony Edwards. I think Edwards is going to really take this team and make it his team. Even though he kind of made his team last year, he did suffer in the playoffs. Didn't do too well in the second and third round after killing it with the Suns, just mopping the floor with the Suns in the first round. But Anthony Edwards is going to take a big step up and be an MVP candidate in the this year. And I feel like the Wolves are going to be a much far better team than they were last year. They nearly made it to the finals after being upset by basically playoff pedigree in the Mavericks. But I feel like the Timberwolves still have that grit, that offensive verticality, and of course the French/zesty twin towers in Cat and Rudy Gobert. Sorry.
He'll never escape zesty allegations from the three of us, that's for sure.
He definitely won't. He definitely won't. But mostly everybody's back healthy. If they stay healthy, they'll definitely take that 2 seed and own it for sure. Wolves, yeah, got the 2 seed for the Wolves. Number 1 seed, of course. I mean, they all shocked us last year. We got OKC. OKC was great last year. Didn't have much of the playoff experience because it was like the first time they got that far in the playoffs since the Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant days. Made it to the second round. But man, they got even better this year with the addition of Caruso and sadly Isaiah Hartenstein
Crazy.
as their additions. I mean, Hartenstein was going for the bag and he went OKC. I'm sorry, Brian. I mean, Hartenstein was a household name briefly in New York, but man, they are going to reap the benefits of his interior defense and pick and roll offense with Hartenstein. I mean, he's probably going to be one of their X factors this year. I'm kind of glad that they have those 2 main pieces as focus because, of course, Josh Giddey wasn't doing it. One of the worst shooters in the league. One of the most like if you guarded him, you didn't need to guard him at all. He was just pretty much a non-factor last year. Also his off the court issue too, pretty much, had an impact on him as well as a player. The team didn't really hurt as much because they have Shea, also an MVP candidate. I got OKC really just becoming what the Thunder were from like 2010 to 2013, back when they had Kevin Durant, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, and Serge Ibaka. So I feel like the OKC really just has pretty much the Western Conference first seed. It's theirs to lose. It really is. And pretty much that's it for OKC, number 1.
Yeah, so my number 5, and it's weird to put them at 5 because I think they're way better than the 5th seed in the Western Conference, but I just think the way my standings and the way these rosters and everything and the way this conference is going to be, I have Denver. I mean, there's really just like I said, there's just nothing wrong with their team. So like I can't even really tell you why they're at 5. I mean, it's just like they have their same core guys: Jokic, Jamal Murray, Michael. I've never missed a shot. I don't like Porter. Aaron Gordon. They even brought in Russell Westbrook as a solid bench glue guy to run that unit. Like I couldn't tell you like a whole, but it's just more like I think they're going to be way more dominant in the postseason. I mean, we know Nikola Jokic doesn't love the game of basketball, so like maybe it's just like like Jeremy said, this Western Conference is going to be competitive as hell. There's a lot of tiebreakers. Maybe Jokic is like, I just don't want to try that hard like late in the game. That type of feel. At 4, I got a team that I say every year when's they're going to be their championship run, and I kind of want to go like Mad Dog Russo on it, but I'm not going to. It's the Phoenix Suns. They just they frustrate me so many times. As I honestly thought in 2021 they were going to beat the Bucks in the finals, and I don't know. I kind of like the Tyus Jones move. I think he's very underrated and he fits them perfectly. And sure, from a roster perspective, like I think they did drastically improve their bench from last season, and they got Budenholzer, who's a very solid and well-respected coach. So I don't know. I love this Phoenix team, and I think Nurkic and Plumlee as their 2 centers. With even if you needed a third, depending on how deep they go in the rotation, Bol, I don't think that's terrible, especially among like. And then you have Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal. It's probably easily the 3 best players of a trio in the NBA, and obviously superstars win talent, and I mean Durant and Booker alone can deliver you a championship. So I really like Phoenix. At 3, I got Dallas. They surprised me a little bit last year, and I think that's just because of Luka and then how athletic and how good they were at defense, the rest of the team, which I didn't think they were going to be that strong defensively. But like Jeremy said, they had to address the 3-point shooting aspect, and they did that. And then some. They got Klay Thompson and they got Quentin Grimes. And Quentin Grimes they traded for, getting rid of Tim Hardaway Jr. And Tim Hardaway Jr., watching him in the playoffs reminded me of his first stint with the Knicks, of just like very frustrating, not hitting the 3 ball. And then you had the off-court stuff with his dad, like talking crap towards Luka and like kind of blaming Luka of why they lost, which obviously that's not true. And it was Tim Hardaway Jr. So just getting Quentin Grimes, who's also a solid defensive player. I mean, this Dallas team is loaded. But at 2, I got Minnesota. I mean, Anthony Edwards is a bad man. They got, I guess, the newly nicknamed Zesty Twins and Cat and Gobert. I mean, just another solid team that's going to be filthy to watch, fun to watch for honestly a while, just because of how good Anthony Edwards is. I mean, I know Jeremy said Luka is a perennial MVP candidate, so is Ant Edwards. And then number 1, probably going to be the best record and best team in basketball. I mean, I'll say it, September 4th. The Oklahoma City Thunder will be in and probably win the NBA Finals. I mean, that team's nasty, so athletic, can shoot, can move. I mean, Chet Holmgren's a dog, but like the one thing holding him and the Thunder back was rebounding, and that got exploited badly in the playoffs. So what did they do? They bring in probably the best available rebounding big man. I mean, you could maybe say it's Steven Adams, but I think what he also brings to the table is Hartenstein. I mean, this guy leaves his body on the line every play, hustles, can even provide scoring too. Like I think he's an underrated scorer, especially with his floater. And then he plays defense. He gets steals. Like he is the perfect complementary player to Chet Holmgren, because you don't like Chet won't have to worry about Hartenstein taking the ball from him. Like Chet, SGA, they're going to get their look still. Hartenstein won't interfere with that, but he just does all the little things that bring this Thunder team and really cement themselves to not only a top playoff seed, but a championship caliber team. And that's what I think the Thunder are.
You guys are high in the Thunder. Understandably so. They did get the 1 seed last year, but yeah. We'll see where they're falling mine, but that's what we're going to get into, I guess, right? Why am I doing this with my hand? I don't really know. So let's just get into it.
Get to it, man.
Okay,
come on, seriously.
Number 5, I'm all in on the bounce back year for the Memphis Grizzlies. Ja's coming back. I really liked what I saw out of Jaren Jackson Jr. last year. I'm huge on Desmond Bane. I think he can actually play make, as well as, he had stretches where he was scoring 20, 30 plus a night. I'm really high on him as well. The one thing, you guys mentioned G.G. Jackson as well. I liked Vince Williams. I saw him last year in terms of like a wing scorer, wing capabilities right there. I know there's still a lot of question marks on if putting Ja back into this team after he's been gone so long, can they still be the same type of team they were 2 years ago when they got the 2 seed and finished 50 whatever and 30 whatever. But I don't know. I think they're definitely a lock to return to the playoffs. Morant is still going to be questionable with some of the injury stuff he has going on. And I mean, one of the biggest question marks is Zach Edey actually going to do stuff in the league? Because he's on the Grizzlies now. Is he? I don't know. I have not been very kind to him in the past, but yeah, I don't know. He's a big.
That's a Big Ten in you.
Well, yeah, he went to Purdue, and Purdue's Purdue, and he smacked Ohio State every game. So any Boilermakers watching, let's play football. 4 seed, Minnesota. This one, a lot of these top teams are tough. Like 4 through 1 were really hard for me to kind of put together in one order because I feel like the West is such a gauntlet. And like some of these teams I think are going to get seeded lower than what they actually are because of, I don't know, you can just chop it up to being a casualty of the West. But like, we're talking about Minnesota. Okay, we saw the run that they had last year where they swept the super team of the Suns. They went into Denver, took them to, I think it was all 7 games, I think, came out on top and didn't quite get past the Mavericks, but this is a young team. As both of you have said, this is Anthony Edwards' team now. They have Gobert. They have Towns. Nickeil Alexander-Walker and Jaden McDaniels are not only getting it done in defense, what they're known for, but they're actually a reliable 3-point threat, can drive the lane and kick it out to whoever it is. Mike Conley is the beacon of steadiness at the 1. Also a Buckeye. That's not what we're talking about here, though. I mean, he's just a perfect guy to kind of put it all together. He's the veteran presence that can also make smart passes. He's not going to give the ball up so that they have more chances for this very potent offense. So I really want to put this team higher, but I do think there are 3 better teams than them, not by much. And one of those better teams at 3 is the Oklahoma City Thunder. Despite being a 1 seed, despite improving rebounding, despite we're going to see big, big jumps from Jalen Williams, J-Dub, and probably the other Jalen Williams too. Kassan Wallace is another name to watch out for. Despite that, and maybe this is really stupid reasoning, and maybe I'm just trying to be different about that, they got really lucky when it came to the injury bug last year, and maybe won't be so kind to them this year. Do I think that's going to matter of them being an elite team and making a run most certainly to the Western Conference Finals? No, I do not. This is a team that now that they have some more experience under their belt, they're not a bunch of rookies and sophomores trotting out there. They are a bunch of ballers. They are bona fide hoopers led by their coach, Mark Daigneault, however the hell you say his name. He's got them running what they need to be running. And I don't know. You might say, why are they not a 1 seed if you're talking about them so fondly? Well, maybe it's just because I like 2 teams more. And this could play out any way it is. Some of you might remember, I said the Thunder were going to be a 10 seed last year, and they finished top. So,
You did.
2 seed. Anyways, I'm back on Denver. I'm back on Denver as a 2 seed, as a top 2 seed again. You lose KCP to the Magic. That's pretty brutal. And the guys that you sign, they are what Denver was targeting all along. You get Dario Saric, you get Russell Westbrook, both aging guys that can still contribute a lot to a team. So who's the replacement for KCP, or like that Bruce Brown type that kind of got them all the way through those 2022 playoffs? And I really think that Christian Braun is going to show up this year big time. I think we've seen flashes from him. Definitely some flashes. He's also a name you could talk about in those 2022 finals that probably are etched into the minds of Heat fans everywhere. But Christian Braun has the capability to improve his scoring, be better with the ball, play make a little bit, take some of the pressure off of Jokic's shoulders. And, you talk about Nikola Jokic, the 3-time MVP, and Aaron Gordon's still there, Michael Porter Jr. still there, Jamal Murray's still there. I think Christian Braun and Russell Westbrook are going to be huge in the non-Jokic minutes in making that this team is not one of the worst teams of basketball when the big Serbian guy's not on the court. That's been their downfall since they got really good in like 2020, 2021. And I think they're going to help patch that up. Remains to be seen. But, hey, time to be bold on this. Number 1, and you know what? It needs no introduction. Dallas Mavericks. They have Luka. They have Kyrie. I think Luka's going to win the MVP, and I think Kyrie is the perfect piece alongside him in the backcourt. Derek Lively II, was just an absolute animal on the boards, anything to do in the interior on defense. He's rebounding. He's getting put back dunks and everything. Klay Thompson's there now. He's getting old. He's not the Klay that before the 2 Achilles injuries, but he's still Klay Thompson. That's the threes that we saw getting shot by PJ Washington that were like, you're almost holding your breath because you're like, is this even going to come close to going in? That's going to get fixed. You're losing Derrick Jones Jr., losing, I think Tim Hardaway's gone too. You got Quentin Grimes, who's maybe not one of Brian's favorites now that he's not a New York Knick, but I think Brian and I can agree he's still a pretty solid player for them. The West is still a gauntlet. It's going to be hard to predict almost anything. I think we know generally where each team's going to fall, but all of these teams, I think 1 through 8 are going to be separated. Like the 1 seed and the 8 seed might be separated by 7 or 8 games. That's how good I think the West is. So, take these rankings with a grain of salt, but that's how I'm calling it like I see it, and that's how I see them, fellas.
All right. Interesting you put Dallas as number 1. Interesting. I don't know.
I know it's interesting. That's what I like about it, though. I see what they're
That's why predictions are so much fun.
Yeah, right? You be a little silly with it.
Yeah, that's why I have the Rockets at 5. Hey, if the Rockets are like 11th seed, I'm a freaking idiot.
No. Be optimistic about your team, though. You got to.
I am. No, obviously. I am. Yeah. Obviously. Guys, to close this one out, guys, did you guys see a clip on Good Morning America? Dwight Howard is going to be a contestant on Dancing with the Stars. Multi-time Defensive Player of the Year, Dwight Howard.
I thought you were going to say American Idol at first. I don't know if Dancing with the Stars is better or worse than that, to be honest with you.
I'm really surprised and eager to see what his dance partner, who his dance partner will be. Seriously.
I hope she's tall, because he's
really
not short.
Do.
You think his footwork, his post footwork's going to help him out, or you think it's just not the same? It's not going to translate as well to ballroom dancing. I
mean, there's no basketball in his hands. There's just him, holding somebody with his 2 hands. Okay, I don't know if he's going to do any post moves. There's no basket either.
You know what I mean, though. He's got good feet in the post. Does that translate to good feet on the dance floor? Does he be cutting it up at the weddings and stuff? You think?
I don't know. We'll see, man. We'll see, but I feel like this is kind of the obvious move that Dwight Howard would do. I think this is what he would exactly
what do you mean by
do,
that?
Especially given his history.
Yeah.
His history, his history. Dude, I mean, hey, do you know any other players, any former players who went to Dancing with the Stars?
It was a football
Nate
player,
Robinson
right?
went to boxing.
Nate Robinson. I mean, that's actually a perfect fit. He's really short, and most dancers are short too. So most actual pro dancers are short. So it'll be interesting to see the size differentiation of Dwight Howard being 6'11" and his dance partner's 5'2".
Yeah, I think.
Oh, there's actually way more people that have done Dancing with the Stars that are NBA players.
Oh, who?
The first person to do it was Clyde Drexler.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
But then Ron Artest, Lamar Odom, Derek Fisher, a lot of Lakers, Kareem, Rick Fox, and Iman Shumpert. So I think everyone was a Laker that I just said, except for Clyde.
Okay, so if you're a Laker, you're probably going to be on Dancing with the Stars.
Austin Reeves, get those tap dancing shoes on, buddy. You're next.
LeBron James?
And Dwight Howard was a Laker. Nah, he
was NBA champion. NBA champion Dwight Howard from the Los Angeles Lakers in the bubble. So
very impactful out there.
Are you guys going to watch it?
Yeah, why not?
No.
I got nothing better to do with my Wednesday nights. I don't know when they air. My mom used to watch them back in the day. Probably when Lamar Odom was on there, but I couldn't.
I mean, it's season 33. That's what I saw. It's the 33rd season of Dancing with the Stars.
They have that many stars to dance with?
Apparently, yeah.
I mean, if they're pulling up Ron Artest, I guess that's a scary dude to bring on to national television. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, I think Dwight Howard will actually kill it. I think it will. He'll kill it with the interviews. He'll kill it with his.
I mean, I feel like Andy said, you got to find a perfect height person for him to dance with.
Yeah.
You know, if he wins, we got to do a retrospect and review his game tape, right?
Oh yeah. We got to review him every single week.
That's our new outro. That's our second segment of every show. Is how did Dwight Howard do?
Judging Dwight Howard's dance moves on Dancing with the Stars
by 3 guys who've never danced before, like professionally in their lives. I think that'd be great.
What songs do you think he'll dance to? What songs?
Meg Thee Stallion.
Man, you know what? I would love to see him dance to Despacito.
Yeah, you think he's got the movement and the salsa in his hips and stuff?
Yeah. If he wants to do well, he's got to have a Latino or Latina dancer. He's got to have one.
I don't know. I feel like especially because Dwight Howard's like this like macho dude. I feel like it would be like 10 times funnier if he's pulled like a Terry Crews and did like 1,000 miles.
Oh my God!
Brian
like Unwritten or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know, like back in, I don't know if they still do it back in the day, but Dancing with the Stars had covers because, of course, they didn't want copyright infringement, so they would have covers of each song. So if it was Despacito, it would have not Enrique Iglesias; it would have some random cover artist singing the song or whatever. Yeah, some Enrique Iglesias tribute cover artist.
100% unrelated, but speaking of covers, I found out there's a Jewish version of Pepas.
What?
Like Pepas? In Hebrew or?
No, just I don't. Or is
it just a Jewish guy singing it or girl? I don't know.
No, because it's definitely not like
Jeremy, you know Pepas, right?
Language type thing. I don't know.
I'm not that Jewish.
That's not what I meant.
I'm not that Jewish, man.
You're gonna get canceled on our broadcast here, dude. Come on now.
We're not saying anything bad.
I know. I'm just joshing.
I'm trying to keep a filter here. I haven't said any F-bombs today.
We haven't brought up. I'm not even. Never mind. You guys already know who I'm talking about too.
Man.
Hey, what if you know what? She should join Dancing with the Stars. Rachel Nichols. She should definitely do it.
Yeah, why is that?
And go with Jimmy Butler.
Why you want to see her on there?
I mean, you know why.
Yeah, come on.
I'd rather see Rachel Amita.
I just pulled my things out. Like that was funny.
I mean, would you pick Rachel Nichols or Malika Andrews as a Dancing with the Stars contestant? Which one would you pick? Come on.
Malika
Doris
Andrews.
Burke.
Whoa!
Doris Burke. Oh my God. Dude. She would. I forgot one of the Dancing with the Stars like actual dancers. I think his name was Derek or something. That's way back in the day. I don't know.
Yeah, he's still there. Yeah.
He's still there?
I think
really.
So. I keep seeing his name somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got that that Botox, that resveratrol pill taking where he's just looking younger and younger and shit. Imagine Doris Burke on Dancing with the Stars, and like her partner is Derek, and like how she glazes up players that she just loves, and it sounds like she's just glazing a little bit too much, for lack of a better phrase. Mm-hmm. Imagine after the post dance, she's like talking about Derek as compared to her talking about like Jimmy Butler.
Oh, good Lord.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Rachel Amita, though, that would be someone I want to see on Dancing with the Stars.
All right. Yeah, just 3 white straight guys, just talking about Dancing with the Stars a little bit too much.
Yeah, no. This is not enough. What are you talking about? This is great.
This is not enough. Lord.
Yeah. Anyway,
get ready till Bachelor season starts, Jeremy.
Oh man, yo, honestly, why haven't we seen a Bachelor NBA player on The Bachelor? That would be sick. Have you seen one?
No, there's no way. I mean, the trash talking on the court would be crazy, though.
Oh my God,
Anthony Edwards would not let
Josh Hart would be the perfect Bachelor if he wasn't married.
He would, honestly. He definitely would. I think the last pro person or pro player that was on The Bachelor was he played for the Chargers, like Colton something.
Yeah,
he was an NFL player, but then he came out as a homosexual. So shortly thereafter, so that was weird.
What a career trajectory for that guy!
It was a strange, huge turn of events in the past couple of years.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah, but Dwight Howard, we're rooting for you. All 3 of us are rooting for you to win that elusive chip of Dancing with the Stars, because you really couldn't win one yourself, except when you were basically a bench player, because you had LeBron carry you and Anthony Davis carry you as well. So You had your chance with the Kobe, you had your chances with, Orlando, and the Rockets for that matter. But, you got to win a chip somewhere. I mean, Kobe did after he won his 5 championships, won an Oscar. So it's possible. Definitely possible.
Well said.
All right.
Enough about the Dancing
Cool.
with the Stars, right?
We'll go Eastern Conference next week, our predictions next week. And the following week after that, we're doing award predictions. You guys excited for that as well?
Oh, yeah.
I'll have some crazy bold predictions, especially for that. But the East looks pretty easy to predict, if I'm not mistaken. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, that's been Cut the Nets. Return back to our weekly schedule. We know you're excited. We know you're pumped for us to talk about basketball and sports alike. Thank you so much for watching. Of course, I'm Jeremy.
This is Brian.
It's your boy Andy in the house.
All right. We'll see you guys next time. It's Cut the Nets signing out.